This is Jarrod Horak, and in this handicapping video, I'm going to analyze the Grade 1 Stephen Foster Stakes at Churchill Downs, Saturday, June 29th, 2024. If you're interested in bonus free selections, head on over to my personal website, therunawayhorse.com, and at the top, near the right-hand side, you're going to see a Better Bets tab. Click that tab, it'll take you over to my daily Better Bets blog, and I have daily selections from around the country. So check out those free picks at therunawayhorse.com. And then on my sales page at that website, later this summer, I'm going to be offering full cards each day from Del Mar. You can purchase individual full cards, weekly and weekend packages, and the entire meet. The Del Mar Summer Meet from July 20th through September 8th, and you'll be able to get those full cards at therunawayhorse.com on my sales page. Now we'll get into the analysis of this video. 11th race at Churchill Downs. This is the Grade 1 $1 million Stephen Foster Stakes for 4-year-olds and up, a mile and an eighth on the main track. Scheduled post time 6:03 p.m. Eastern. Pyrenees is number 1 in here, and this horse is very sharp for trainer Cherie DeVaux. Won his last 4 starts. Ended 2023 with a maiden victory. That was a nice win by more than 4 lengths, stalking the pace. Then he stalked and scored his first start this year in the mud. That was at Fairgrounds entry-level allowance race. He won that one by 2 1/4 lengths. Last 2 starts in the slop at Keeneland on April 12th. He wired the field there, 3-length victory. Stepped up into the stakes ranks. I liked him in that Grade 3 Pimlico Special last time. He was 5-1. He stalked. He scored by 3/4 of a length over Kingsbarns, and he's meeting that rival again in this spot. So Brian Hernandez Jr. was aboard for those last 4 wins. This horse, he can go to the front. He can stalk. I think most likely saving ground, stalking the pace. He is 0 for 2 at Churchill Downs, and he's 1 for 1 at a mile and an eighth. First Mission is number 2 for trainer Brad Cox. I've always liked this one. 8 starts, 5 wins, 2 runner-up finishes. He handles fast dirt, wet dirt. He handles Churchill Downs. He's had 2 starts at Churchill with a win and a nose defeat. And then he's had 3 starts at this distance with a win and a 2nd place finish. He's been sharp this year. His first stakes win was last year in the Lexington Stakes at Keeneland, and then I picked him as my top choice in the Preakness, but he scratched Preakness week. He got injured. He finally came back off of a layoff, and he won a race at Keeneland last fall. And then in the Grade 2 Clark at a mile and an eighth at Churchill, he missed by a nose, battling on the pace all the way around. Trademark won that one. That horse really likes Churchill. And then in his start after that, in his first start this year, the Pegasus World Cup, he was 9th, beaten 20 lengths, just didn't handle that track at Gulfstream Park. And then back-to-back wins in his last pair. The Essex, the Grade 3 at Oaklawn Park on March 23rd. He stalked from 2nd. He won that one easily by 5 lengths as the favorite. And he was the favorite again last time in the Grade 2 Ali Sheba in the slop at Churchill. He rallied from 3rd place. He won that race by 4 lengths. So he's been the favorite multiple times. He'll probably be the favorite in here. Florin Giroux is going to ride. He rode him in his last pair, and he won both of those races. He's got that good tactical speed and an inner post. Happy American has no tactical speed. This horse comes from way out of it. He's run a total of 29 times. He has 5 wins, 1 second, 8 third-place finishes. Sometimes he does rally and pick up the show in races like this. 8 starts at Churchill, 3 wins, 3 show finishes. He's only 1 for 9 at this distance with 2 show finishes. As I said, he can rally for the show in similar races. The Grade 3 Blame last year at Churchill, he rallied for 3rd at 14-1. The Grade 1 Stephen Foster, which was run at Ellis Park last summer, he rallied from last. He finished 3rd. He was almost 49-1 that day. He hasn't won in a long time, but he does come in sometimes, like I said. The Tenacious Stakes, the Grade 3 Louisiana earlier this year, he finished 3rd. He was 3rd last time in an optional claiming race. But then his recent stake starts, the Mineshaft, the New Orleans, the Ben Ali, all graded races. He never got involved in those races. So Corey Lanerie rides. He'll probably save ground, sitting in last. Should be picking up rivals in the stretch, but we'll have to see. If he comes in, I said it's most likely going to be 3rd, if at all. Disarm is next for trainer Steve Asmussen. And he's a consistent 10 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds, 2 show finishes. He's 1 for 3 at Churchill with a show finish, and he's 1 for 2 at a mile and an eighth. He was a decent 3-year-old last year. Louisiana Derby, he was 2nd. The Lexington Stakes, he was 3rd. First Mission won that one. Kingsbarns won that Louisiana Derby. And then he was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, not a bad effort. The Matt Winn Stakes, he dropped into a Grade 3, and he won that race over Verifying, who was the next out stakes winner. And then the Grade 2 Jim Dandy was his next race. He was 4th there. Forte, your 2-year-old champion, won that one. And then the Travers Stakes, he ended up finishing 2nd behind Arcangelo. He added blinkers that day. Then he was off from August of 2023 to May of 2024. Came back in an optional claiming race. There was only 4 horses in that Churchill race. From the inside post, he controlled the pace. He won by a length and a half. But note the fractions of that race: 25-3, 52, 116-2. So they were really crawling on the front end. He was the heavy favorite, and he won as expected. But we didn't really learn anything about him in that spot just because there was absolutely no pace and only 3 rivals there, and he was just able to control very soft fractions. So Rosario gets aboard, and he rode him multiple times last year, including the Louisiana Derby runner-up finish, and then that Travers runner-up finish, and then the Matt Winn victory as well. So Rosario rides. He'll probably end up stalking the pace in here, and we're going to know a lot more about him after this race. Dreamlike for trainer Todd Pletcher. He's only 1 for 9, but he does come in 4 seconds and 2 third-place finishes. He's run once at Churchill, and that was last time out, a show finish in the Blame, and 5 starts at this distance, a win, a second, and 2 thirds. He's one that's had some success last year. He was 3rd, beaten a neck in the Wood Memorial. He was still a maiden then, and then they put him in a maiden race after that, and then he broke his maiden, jumped him up into the Pennsylvania Derby. He rallied to finish 2nd by a half length. Saudi Crown won that one, and he was well clear of the rest of the field that day, more than 6 lengths clear of the show finisher. Breeders' Cup Classic, he finished 8th, no real threat there. 2 starts this year. Keeneland optional claim or allowance race, actually an entry-level allowance race there, and in that race he stalked, he missed by a neck, really didn't get much pace help. Really, the race flow wasn't really in his favor in the Blame Stakes last time either, and he was wandering around. He just seemed to be losing focus, and he was a clear 3rd, more than 4 lengths clear of the rest of the field. So for Dreamlike, he's adding blinkers in here, and he did have blinkers in some other starts last year. The Wood Memorial, his maiden win, and then an entry-level allowance race before taking them off, and now he's putting them back on. I think they're just trying to get him to focus more than anything else. I think that this might be a good move for him just because he seems to lose focus. And he's one that should be running in the stretch. That one victory, certainly he's eligible for an entry-level allowance race, so that concerns you. But I wouldn't be surprised if he came in under Irad Ortiz Jr. Classic Causeway is next for trainer Kenny McPeak. This one, Julian Leperoux is going to ride 4 for 22, 3 seconds and 4 thirds in his career. He's earned more than $1.5 million. Decent performer on fast dirt. He can also handle a wet track, and then he also handles turf. So he's one that can run on multiple surfaces, and he likes to get up there and get involved early. Wasn't able to do that last time, and off the turf race, it was a disappointing effort. 4th, beaten 10 lengths. Seems to do his best work when he can get out there and get involved early. In the Grade 3 Essex Stakes in 2023, he set the pace and finished 2nd on dirt there. In the Oaklawn Handicap, he was all over the pace, and then they started moving him over to the turf course. And then earlier, late last year in the Arlington Stakes in June anyway, he ended up finishing 4th in a 6-horse field. Then they took him to Ascot, Great Britain. He didn't really do well in those races. He was overmatched, came back to the U.S. this year. Temperance Hill Stakes at 1.5 miles. He set the pace, missed by a head. The Isaac Murphy Marathon, he set the pace. He weakened. He was 5th, beaten 19 lengths. Then they moved him back over to the main track last time. So overall, he's going to be a pace factor in here. I just don't think he's good enough to hang around till the end. Kingsbarns for trainer Todd Pletcher. 8 starts, 5 wins, 2 runner-up finishes. He's only run at Churchill once. That was the Kentucky Derby last year. He was 14th in an 18-horse field. Hasn't run at the 1.1 mile distance, but the distance won't cause him any trouble. It's just that it might be a little short for him because he's better at a little bit longer distances. Like the Louisiana Derby last year, he won that race, controlling the pace. The Kentucky Derby, he was 14th. Then the Pegasus, he missed by a neck at 1 mile and 16th. Came back in a 7 furlong race. That race was too short for him, but he did win it anyway. Just an optional claiming race. He was the class of the field. The Ben Ali Stakes, a Grade 3 at Keeneland in April. He won that one easily, stalking the pace at 1 mile and 3/16. Mile and 3/16 last time in the Pimlico Special. He was up on the pace. Pyrenees outfinished him. He was clear of the show finisher. So for Kingsbarns, Luis Saez stays aboard, and he's one that should end up stalking the pace in here. A little bit longer, maybe 1.25 miles, 1 mile and 3/16 is probably more what he wants, but I think 1 1/8 isn't going to give him too much trouble. He'll be stalking the pace, but he is facing better horses, and he needs to run a little bit faster. Steel Sunshine for Bobby DeBona. This one is number 8 in here. 6 for 22 in his life. He's earned more than $500,000. It's good on fast dirt. That's mostly what he runs on. Last time he was no threat in the Ali Sheba in the slop, so they're probably going to want fast dirt for him. The Ghost Sapper earlier this year, he was 3rd, beaten a length. He won the Gulfstream Park Mile. The main thing here is the 1 1/8 distance. He's 0 for 2 at Churchill, which is a negative, and then 0 for 3 with just a runner-up finish at this 1.125 distance. So Paco Lopez is riding, and that's his winning rider. He'll probably be coming from off the pace, but I don't think that this class level or the distance does him any favors. Skippylongstocking, number 9 in here. He will round out the field. He's 8 for 23. He's banked more than $2.2 million in his career. And he can handle wet dirt. He's 2 for 2, fast dirt, 6 for 21. And especially this distance, 4 wins from 9 starts. And he's earned more than $1.7 million of his $2.2 million at this 1.125 distance. So this is what he wants to do. He is 0 for 1 at Churchill. But for him, he's very sharp right now, and he's classy. He's won a lot of stakes races over the years. December of 2022, he won the Grade 3 Harlan's Holiday at Gulfstream. And then in 2023, he won the Challenger Stakes, Charlestown Classic. He won that race as well last year. And then Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he was 3rd. Horse of the Year, Cody's Wish, beat National Treasure, your Preakness winner, by a nose that day. Skippylongstocking more than 6 lengths clear of the rest of the field in a solid show finish. He pulled up and walked off in the Pegasus World Cup, so we can draw a line through that one. Back-to-back wins in the Grade 3 Challenger, Grade 3 Oaklawn Handicap in his last 2. Jose Ortiz rode him last time. The runner-up from his last start was Highland Falls. And that horse, he won his next start. So Highland Falls was able to come back and win the Blame Stakes in his next start. So he was a stakes winner there. So Skippylongstocking is sharp, good early pressing speed. He just beat a next out graded winner. And from that outside post, Jose Ortiz can probably stalk the pace, and this is probably his best distance as well. But Ortiz is 0 for 6 with trainer Staffy Joseph Jr. recently. As I mentioned, he rode this horse to victory last time, not concerned about that. So the pace should be, I'd say, honest in here, but I still would like a horse that can at least show tactical speed and stay out of trouble. I've got it down to my top 3 in here, and then I'm going to get my wagering strategies out. My 3rd choice is going to be Dreamlike. I'm not thrilled about his win chances since he's just 1 for 9 and eligible for an entry-level allowance race. But I like those 6 minor awards, and some of those minor awards were in stakes races, like the Grade 2 Wood Memorial, the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby last year, Grade 3 Blame last time, lost focus, putting blinkers back on in this spot. I think maybe if he can focus a bit better and get a good finish under Jarrod Ortiz Jr., I think he can hit the board. My 2nd choice is probably the likely favorite in here, the 2 First Mission. As I said, I've always liked this one. I've picked him on top multiple times. He's going to be the favorite. He probably deserves to be the favorite. He's got that inner post, tactical speed. Giroux is 2 for 2 with him. Very consistent, 1st or 2nd in 7 of 8 starts with 5 wins. Handles the distance, handles the course. And a lot to like in here, but not necessarily the price. I'm going to go with Skippylongstocking as my top choice. I just like that outside post. He's been freshened for this. April 20th was his last start. So Skippylongstocking was the favorite in that Oaklawn handicap. He won that one. And as I said, Highland Falls did come back. And then he was the next out winner in the Grade 3 Blame Stakes, defeating Cagliostro and Dreamlike, my 3rd choice in this race. So Skippylongstocking from that outside post, I think he's going to try to press the pace, get the first run. Maybe if he can pin in First Mission too, maybe First Mission's down towards the inside as Skippylongstocking is sitting in 2nd. A scenario in here could be that Classic Causeway sets the pace. Skippylongstocking from the outside post is going to press the pace. And then you have towards the inside First Mission stalking, and maybe Skippylongstocking from that outside has a cleaner run, gets the jump, maybe beats First Mission. But I think it's probably between those two, and I'm going to go with Skippylongstocking over First Mission with Dreamlike in 3rd. And the wagering strategies in here for this Foster, the numbers are 9-2-5 for my top 3. Number 9 to win, Exacta 2-9 with the 2-5-9, Trifecta 2-9 with all with 5. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. Keep checking my YouTube channel. Lots going to be going on this summer with Del Mar and Saratoga. Going to have a lot of handicapping videos posted. And go over to my personal website, therunawayhorse.com, for bonus free picks, full card selections, and more. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.